splurging on objects. Men splurging on objects. I mean, that's it. There's nothing more to explain to that. We have public trash cans, airport toilet paper holders, campus bathrooms.
Yeah. So I don't know about cum tagging, but I do know there was I don't want to give too much away about the guy. I've talked about it before. We've talked about it before on the podcast. We used to have this thing where we talk to people from the Patreon podcast, and one of the people that was a regular is a U.S. soldier, and he was on a submarine. He was on one of the nuclear subs. So in between his tours, he'd come on to the hangout with us, and he'd always tell us the stories about like the people on the subs to pass time will literally just like come on things in the sub. I don't know how real that is, or if it was just like his degenerate crew or whatever, but it's apparently like super common, at least on that vessel, because he would talk about it like pretty much every time he came back. Do we have any other like submarine boys in here that can confirm or deny? What episode? No, it was like this hangouts where we just talked to people. It was a while ago. We haven't done that in a couple of years now. Things are so chewy. I heard living on those is fucking horrible. Oh, it sounds absolutely miserable. Yeah, it sounds true. I can't imagine a worse career than being on a submarine. You can't leave it, you're confined to such tight space, and apparently all your friends are just ejaculating on everything. Sounds terrible. My dad was on one, but I'm not going to ask him. Why? Just hit him with that, hey, pop, you ever come on the sub? Thanks to the resub turbo. Sounds like the average frat house. Well, the way you described it sounds like everything a frat, like the worst parts of a frat house at the worst possible place. Seems miserable. But yeah, apparently that's pretty common there. According to one guy that we talked to, that was the only guy we knew like that ever worked on subs. All the other veterans were usually in like, the Marines or something, sometimes Air Force.
Just continuing the list of wholesome subreddits on this list. Ew. That's so gross. Women hating subreddits. Women hating subreddits, but it's women hate. Men that hate women. I found a lot of subreddits that are now archived. They don't exist anymore, right? But we have r/beating women. We have r/r-wording women.
Jesus Christ.
Hate women. We have r/r-word. I'm not gonna go through what. I mean, you guys can imagine.
Yeah, I can pretty much take a guess.
I hate them. I want to do this to them. I want an R-word. Like, I found an archive of the R-wording women one. I mean, just look at the suggestions.
Oh my! What the fuck is this? There's a thing on Reddit where like almost every sub has the same moderators. I wonder if they were mods on here. I imagine at least one or two of them were. There's only like 100 mods on all of Reddit, and they happen to mod every other subreddit on that fucking site. Like, there's some mods that are literally a power mod of 100 other different subreddits.
Like, Reddit was a crazy place back then, it still is, but it was just a lot less monitored. r/iBletch, 228,000 members. iBletch is one of the more popular ones on the subreddit, especially if you're into gore and just disturbing things in general. I wouldn't use the word mainstream, because we're going to talk about another subreddit that has like millions of members, but definitely more popular. It's ironic that this is one of the more popular ones because you can argue it has the worst stuff imaginable. r/iBletch became one of the main subreddits to visit for gore, especially when r/gore and r/watch people die.
Oh, I actually remember when I did that.
Isn't this one taken down? According to some users, this subreddit is completely banned in some countries. However, I do not know which ones. Yeah, I have nothing more to add to this. I don't know what else to say about it. It's pretty gross though, so, a little warning if you guys want to head over there.
Was that first one tough girl? I didn't read it.
Wild. 2000. We fuck shit up. This community is for dedicated single users who want to take their game to the next level.
Fuck yeah, finally.
2019. This is a subreddit dedicated to people peeing in sinks.
Finally, my kind of people. My brethren.
Peeing in your sink, weird, but okay. I mean, you're not harming anyone, right? But these people go out of their way to sometimes pee in public sinks or their friends' bathrooms. Yeah, it's great to walk into your local retail store or a neighbor's house, a friend's house, walk into the bathroom and record yourself peeing in their sink, hoping that no one walks in. With captions like, fuck it, not my sink, cleaning out the neighbor's sink, and always better in a public sink, I think it's safe to say that the members of this server are not in the right headspace. And I'm sure some of them are going to watch this. My videos get very popular now, and if I'm offending any of you, I'm sorry. I don't want any of you to fucking pull up to my house and start peeing in my sink.
True, you don't want to fuck with the sink pissers.
Or anything. I don't. I mean, imagine going to a friend's house and then thinking, oh boy, I can't wait to take a piss in their sink and record it for
I'm sure everyone's pissed in a sink at least once in their life. Like, let's not mince words.
if you like, and if you're not subscribed, make sure to
We've all been 2 or 3 bloodlines deep, 19 years old,
an
and
extremely sad story.
it's a little wacky.
So it kind of seems been deleted, but I'll be using screenshots that I found from a YouTube video, so all my sources will be linked down in the description. This user would make extremely professing posts on multiple subreddits. I'll read some so you guys can get what this person did. I'm just struggling to understand the meaning behind enjoying life. If it's just going to end at some point, either abruptly with no warning young, or slowly and humiliatingly with old age. What is a hug supposed to feel like? I'm genuinely considering just for the small chance that it will allow me to start life over. Further on, he goes to explain that he has a facial deformity due to his mother smoking while he was in her stomach, so while she was pregnant. He describes regretting pursuing engineering and is really going to go through with taking his own life. Then we get this part. I lose. I am 25 years old. I have a degree. I have been actively searching for a job for half a year now, getting absolutely nowhere. I am a virgin despite efforts to not be one. I am poor. I live in the cheapest student dormitory in the city. All my flatmates are filthy and I don't feel comfortable in my own home. I may get kicked out any day at short notice once they discover I'm not a student anymore. I have no friends. My family has excommunicated me. I am born with a malformed face. This isn't exaggeration or drama. My medical records describe me as malformed. I am
This one's just sad.
and will never be looked at with affection. I'm r/oh come on 63.1 thousand members. 63.1 thousand, that's actually a lot. There's a lot of humans that have joined this subreddit. They describe themselves as a place to challenge others to come in unusual places, ways, and circumstances. You know what? I'm not going to describe any. I'm going to describe one. I'm sorry. This one it's called the Oreo video.
I've never heard of it.
It's going to be stuck in my brain forever, and it's even hard to repeat what happened, but I'm going to do it for you guys. One, because it's funny. 2, that's it. It's just funny. So there's this video with this guy. I'm gonna use the word splurge, okay? I'm not gonna. Yeah. So this guy, or
The word is usually splooge, is splurge the new
this
one?
guy takes off the cream, right, and then splurges where the cream should be. Puts the fucking Oreo on top, makes the cookie again with the splurge of leaking out and shit, and fucking eats it on video, dude.
Yeah, that's
Or
hardcore.
he doesn't eat it on video, but you can tell he's much.
That's Chris Chan shit.
And I already know some of you guys.
That's gourmet.
If you guys watch my channel, I know you guys can do it. At least give me the watch time. Like always, give me the watch time and then go give yourself a little bit of trauma. That was called the Oreo video. Not officially named that, but I'm naming it the Oreo video. This video is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Feeling your best starts with
Manscaped does slap.
/just no MIL 1.8 million. Whoa! MIL means mother-in-law. This subreddit is dedicated to people venting about their horrible mothers and mother-in-laws. I'm going to read you guys a story that pissed me off, and I'm sure will enrage any normal human being. When my twin girls were born, we had no issues in the hospital. They were born right on their due date, latched perfectly, and passed all their postnatal tests with stellar stats.
Nice.
When we brought them home, however, we noticed that one of the girls, let's call her OD, since she was a whole 4.5 minutes older than her sister, was developing a rash. I hadn't really dealt with allergies in kids since my son didn't have them, and neither did any child or adult in my entire family. I wasn't sure what it was. I thought that maybe she just had sensitive skin like me. I can't tolerate certain fabrics because I have very dry skin, and I'll often break out in rashes when my skin decides that it doesn't like something. So I stopped using fabric softener on all the clothes. I bought the nicest, most comfortable bedding and clothes. At one point, I even made her clothes myself in the fear that maybe something in the manufacturing process was upsetting my OD. We went to the doctor several times, and they knew that she was having an allergic reaction to something. But every test came back negative, and we
God, it turned out the mother-in-law was doing some crazy shit.
to figure it out. During that time, her allergic reactions got more and more severe. At one point, she was the only baby in the history of the hospital who had to be kept in a clean room because she seemed to have a reaction the minute she left. When that happened, we began to have elimination therapy that would rival the lifestyle of Buddhist monks. My husband and I moved our son and YD in with his parents because we needed to eliminate everything from our routine to figure out what was causing the reaction to our OD. We stopped using our soap, our shampoo, our deodorants, our laundry detergents, and that was before we even got to our diet. It took us 3 more months, but we figured it out. Our OD was allergic to coconut. The doctors told us that it was a particularly rare allergen, and so it wasn't on any of the skin test panels they ran. When we found out what she was allergic to, we were so relieved, so relieved. But in addition to feeling relieved, I delved into the thought of steroid. I laughed so hard I cried. And to this day, my TH tells me he didn't know if I was crying from relief or pure happiness. Okay, so like I said, this story is very long, but to summarize it, the baby has an allergic reaction to coconut oil, and now we're being introduced to the mother, right? The mother of the woman. And this...
I thought it would be something like the mother-in-law was
serious.
Like, you just like trying to get her some shit.
What's going to happen? So let's get to where the grandmother is taking care of the baby. My mother had put coconut oil in both my daughter's hair when they were playing the previous day before bed. The girls loved it when my mom did their hair, and so they asked for braids, and my mom was doing their hair. She put coconut oil in both their hair because it would make for smoother braids. According to my son, OD started to get a little dizzy and itchy when my mom was doing her hair. So my mom gave her some kids Benadryl, which made her sleepy. Since it was close to bedtime anyways, the kids went to bed. Giving her Benadryl was something we did whenever she had a mild reaction, since it usually meant she accidentally came across some coconut from a secondary source. We also showered her head to toe immediately to erase any lingering traces of it. My mother simply gave her some Benadryl and kept the coconut oil in her hair and put her to fucking sleep. The Benadryl made her sleepy and unable to wake up or be conscious enough to wake up her brother or cry. She vomited in her sleep and rash spread all over. Her little body was swollen.
Oh, that was sad.
She had asphyxiated in her sleep. She died painfully and slowly in the early hours of the morning. My mother was never arrested. My father did leave her, though they're not officially divorced. The majority of my mother's family refused to speak to her, and the few that do speak to her only do so on a limited basis. She currently lives on her own in a small town, and every couple months I'll get a call from her telling me how sorry she is and how she just wasn't thinking, and can I please find a way to forgive her? She wants to come see me. The only thing I can find to ever say to her is, you can come see me when you bring my daughter with you.
Jesus Christ.
It's a lot longer than what I just said, and I know what I said.
Man, that's probably one of the most intense ones on that subreddit. That's probably my mother-in-law made with dry turkey.
That's what ignorance does, man. Let's move on.
Jesus Christ.
R/jailbait. The Urban Dictionary.
Oh, that was a big one back in the day.
Who is under the age of consent.
That shit was fun.
Acts and appears as if she's over the age of consent, and who does nothing to correct that impression when she is vetted. Yeah, when I read that, I was like, oh, can victim blame. Dude, why are you getting mad at them? Like, I don't want to get off track, but it's just weird when guys are like, yo, you shouldn't dress like that. Too young. Not even your life. Just fucking move on. Go on record. Actually, that's what we're doing. It was just a place where people would talk about underage girls. At the time, Eric Martin...
They used it on the front page almost every week.
Subreddits, including jailbait, by claiming that it was one of the side effects of promoting free expression on the web. Reddit administrators took down the subreddit after a user shared a picture of an underage teenager, saying that he had nude photos of her as well, and many users were requesting, send me, send me. Yeah, it's just pretty disgusting stuff.
Yeah, he's underselling how popular that was. Back when I first found Reddit, I would have been, a junior in high school? Jailbait was usually on the front page. That was a massive fucking subreddit. What year would that have been? 2011-ish? It was fucking crazy. Yeah, and that was for some reason on Reddit, that was totally normal. And I remember someone made a big hoopla. I don't remember, it might have been R-Atheism, to be honest, so that was also huge then. Someone made a huge hoopla, why the fuck are we just allowing open pedophiles on the site, super transparent? They're like, no, jailbait's fine. Jailbait's good for Reddit, actually. And it was a huge controversy where people were like, we need to get jailbait the fuck out of here. But they fought tooth and nail. That was on there for a long time. A really long time, much longer than you would expect.
Spontaneous H.
That's Twitter now.
Redditor document.
Okay, I guess.
Jacking heroin. I'll read the main posts. I did heroin yesterday. I am not a drug user and have never done anything besides pot back when I was a teen. Ask me anything. This is a little long. I've never been a drug user. I drink once in a while and smoked pot years ago back when I was a teen in high school a few times, and that's it. 24 now. I have a master's and
This one's fake.
Yesterday.
Usually the personal stories are
where I pass every day, and there are always people looking to sell drugs. Not in the park anymore due to cameras, but it is well known you can meet a dealer and do the transaction elsewhere.
There's just the infinite
unless drugs, you stop to stand around near one of them for some reason or look like you're looking for something. Yesterday, I happened to stop by a row of benches to check some messages on my phone when the dealer on the bench to my right asked me if I need anything. My life has been pretty boring the last few years, and I felt like I haven't really lived and taken any risks or done anything crazy. So I figured, what the hell, maybe I'll buy some pot. It's been a while. I said yeah, and after asking me several times if I'm a cop, he gives me his number and tells me to meet him at a fast food place several blocks away, and he will, quote, hook me up.
Sleep well,
Maybe the power of this drug and how orgasmic it felt. I never understood why people did drugs before and got so hooked on them, but now I see why. I have the urge to do it again, but I will resist and not do it, at least not for a long time. I understand the addiction potential and how someone can easily tear apart their lives with this stuff. Heroin is pure powdered pleasure. I actually feel proud of myself for having the ball to do something this crazy, and I feel like it was a valuable life experience and my window into another world and part of society. I'll never forget the day I did heroin. Now, ask me anything. 2 weeks ago, I tried heroin once for fun and made an AMA. I have been using since and shot for the first time today.
No.
Wednesday night update. Fucking, I'm still withdrawing, growing up, and sweating out gallons of sweat. I really want to use and relapse right now. I know I shouldn't. These urges are so strong and overpowering.
No shot, these are real. Nah, I usually don't believe the personal ones.
And this was some elaborate lie. I was doing everything right. I've been clean, and somehow a rumor got out that I've been using, and my girlfriend found out. She basically broke up with me last night, but is now putting that decision on hold. I have some serious unrelated business/work I need to attend to in 2 hours, and I don't know if I'll be in any state to be able to be ready. I can't stop crying. Fuck heroin. Fuck my life. I guess I don't need to say that since heroin pretty much fucked my life for me in under 2 weeks. I just want to die. I am a patient in a psychiatric hospital. I was also technically dead last week. Ask me anything. Well, you guys would be happy to know that this person is actually still alive. Even though this all happened about 12 years ago, this user actually came back 4 months ago with an update. It's been a while. This is not an AMA or anything exciting, really. I saw this disturbing set post about an opiate overdose on the tier 1 squad and was reminded to try to log justice. It's been over 3 years since I checked this or posted anything. I find this Reddit account pretty overwhelming. I'm just posting to let people know that I'm still alive, clean, and doing well. Thanks to everyone who reached out in messages checking in over the past few years, and sorry if I can't get back to you. Here's another comment with more details where he responded to another user. It has been coming up on almost 11 years since I've used heroin, any hard drugs, or alcohol. That was November 2010. A few years ago, I had a slip and just smoked weed, which is a bad mistake. So I consider my current total clean time 3 years since I count that. Nice. We actually had a happy ending to this one. Love that. Love that he's still okay, doing just fine. It's kind of crazy to just be like, hey yo, let me just shoot up some heroin. Fuck you. My life kind of boring. Should I document my experience of that? No, I'm just kidding. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. Don't click off yet. Don't click off.
I do almost all of those.
Community tab, when I was telling you guys to leave requests for video ideas, right? Or like Reddit ideas for this one. People were saying that I
didn't even cover True Cells, which is surprising.
And I just cover them in a mediocre way.
Do you guys remember True Cells? That was a little bit before the big incel explosion. There's the prime break. Wow. Most people don't seem to remember it. True Cells was they're the progenitor to modern incels. They had a lot of very sad dudes that would post shit like women should be kept on farms and men should be allowed to buy women to fuck them. Stuff like really horrible stuff, like incel shit, before it became mainstream. That one was pretty wild. They had like full websites full of like hundreds of pages where people would like write some real gross shit and their weird view on the world. Thanks to resub Asa. Tweeter post Elliot Rogers. I have to really think. I'm not sure. I think it was post because I vaguely remember that one of the websites had Elliot Rogers like their poster child. I'm thinking it was post Elliot Rogers. Yeah, it was fucked. Please, it was correct. The resub Shoof and Cypher. I feel like there were some other ones that weren't covered, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. True Cells is just one that I always remembered. Sucks. Not bad? It's not gonna take a night in a sec. Why do people go so feral for sex? I don't know, man. There's some fucking weirdos out there. Just as simple as that. Woo! We flew a little close to the sun there. God damn. Don't let anyone say I don't take risks.
Now, you guys might be wondering why I am so happy. Well, there's a lot of great stuff happening right now. Not only is Mr. Sonic the Hedgehog going to be in the background for this video, we're talking about video games, but also we hit 700,000 subscribers, and Cherry Soda is coming out on February 24th. It's going to premiere live. Before I talk about the Cherry Soda release, thank you guys so much for 700,000 subscribers. Can't wait for someone to get mad at me for saying I say thank you too much. Dude, we're getting closer and closer to 1 million subscribers every upload, and I can't wait for the comments. Tell used to make better content before he hit a mill. He changed that for a mill. So the song, Cherry Soda, is my favorite song. Like actually like song. That's going to be on streaming services, and it's going to premiere here on the channel on February 24th at 6 p.m. PST. Also, make sure to pre-save it on Spotify. The link will be down in the description. I am fully aware that this song is not going to be for everyone, and I'm okay with that. Not everyone likes KSI's music, right? YouTubers make music, there's always a certain stigma, though I really like KSI's music.
I don't think so.
I don't think this is some Logan Paul, little brother Jakey.
I'm just playing Elden.
Like, no. Like, I actually feel like what I mean. We're a genre, I guess. Yeah, it's hyperpop. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. And I hope you guys add it to your playlist. And I've always been music, but I'm finally able to release it because I know you guys really with me. And if you guys don't like it, that's totally okay. I'm not gonna fucking, what am I gonna do, get mad at you? Like, no, I'm not. Please, you should please be there for the premiere. Please. I've never done a premiere on my channel. I don't know how many live viewers we're gonna get, but please be there for the premiere. Notifications. You guys got me. Oh yeah, I also want to say I'm not a YouTuber that's switching over to music. I am a YouTuber that does music as well. I've always wanted to be both YouTuber and an artist. I am not just gonna peace YouTube. I'm gonna be a full-time artist. No, y'all are my babies. Work for you. Today we're gonna talk about the most controversial video games. For the most part, I try to look for video games that are not really that well known. So you guys have some fresh content. All my sources will be linked down in the description below.
I guarantee I'll know
the video.
I'm confident I'll know.
1992.
I was immediately wrong. What the fuck is Night Trap?
Night Trap was a game released in 1992 designed for the Sega CD, an attachment for the Sega Genesis. The Sega CD added hardware functionality such as a faster CPU and graphic enhancements. Sega tried to match the capabilities of the competing PC Engine CD-ROM system, but failed to do so. One of the games playable on the Sega CD was Night Trap, an interactive movie video game developed by Digital Pictures. The game is shown mainly through the use of full-motion video. In this game, the player takes a role of a special agent.
One of these games.
Girls having a sleepover, and those girls are visiting a house which they don't know is full of danger. The player watches live surveillance footage of the house and triggers traps to capture anyone seen endangering the girls. Designing a game where you're supposed to watch a bunch of underage girls having a sleepover is already pretty weird, but designing a storyline where they're gonna get hurt, it's a little bit, nah, it's not it.
Oh, shit. Sorry to pause so quickly. This just poured salt in an old wound. Who remembers, I think it was 2 years ago, that game they tried to make about was it a female streamer? It was a full motion interactive game. Or, yeah, full motion interactive game, whatever. A live movie. What was it called? Because I can't remember it now. Was it Gamer Girl? Was it actually just called Gamer Girl? It might have been. And they canceled it because it got clowned on so hard. Rest in peace. This game would have been fucking amazing.
Peggy 18.
Okay, cool. Water time, break time.
Oh, yeah, you play as the moderator.
Has been taking out my stream.
Fuck! Would have been so good.
Oh, come on.
I'll skip around a little bit, but you get to the big reveal. So hyped for this game. But yeah, I got canceled because it got so much shit tossed at it. Damn. Thanks for supplying. I mean, they filmed most of the game. They should just release it, man. Why not? Like, why just hold on to that? Let us have it. Go independent. Like shit. mean, I'll finance it. I want to fucking play it. I want to see what it was. What was the studio behind that? Let me look. Like, what do they want? Like $100 maybe? Wales Interactive.
What did he even do?
Jesus, do all of their names get pulled? What the fuck is all this? Oh, no, wait, these actually did get published. It's just they were not popular. Hey, if you're watching this Wales Interactive, I will buy a gamer girl from you. In whatever state it's in. I still really want to play that pile of shit. I mean, you're not doing anything with it. Fucking, like a flash drive or something? Like, I'll take it from you. I'll put that shit on Steam for free, just for the love of the sport, goddammit. I want to see that game badly. No, I didn't do the new Destiny 2 raid. And if Gamer Girl comes out, I may never need another video game. This has everything you could ever want from gaming.
Switch their view between different cameras. Insert Five Nights at Freddy's reference here. Tiki watch over girls and eavesdrop on conversations to follow along the story and listen to clues. There are some pretty funny scenes in this game, I'm not gonna lie.
This game was awesome.
Night Trap was one of two games criticized during the 1993 congressional hearings on violent video games. The other was Mortal Kombat. Public concern grew surrounding the video game after claims were made that it included an extreme amount of violence and promoted SA against women. When I say SA, it's that. I just don't want to get them on intent, so yeah. As a result, Night Trap was pulled from the shelves of major video game retailers, and the following month, Sega stopped production of the game altogether. The Senate hearings that revolved around Night Trap's apparent violence resulted in the creation of the Entertainment Software Rating Board. It's the ESRB, which is still used to this day. The game was given an M for mature audiences, which means 17 years or older in the States.
Who is she being hunted by? Foot ninjas from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
2005. 6 years after the events that happened at Columbine High School, Danny Ladon, a video game developer, decided it would be a good idea to release an RPG PC game based around Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. In fact, he chose to release it on April 20th, 2005, which was the 6th year anniversary of the incident. He initially distributed the game anonymously, but after a friend of one of the victims discovered his identity, Ladon decided to come out as the creator. About 10,000 people had downloaded the game in the years since its creation. The game is no longer available on Ladon's website. Instead, it has popped up on a number of sites and download services. Ladon initially accepted donations to defray the cost of hosting the game, but stopped when he took the game off his site. He said he's making no money on the free distribution of the game. When players were in battle, the screen changes to a first-person view of the enemy. Enemies are named stereotypes or occupations, such as preppy girl, janitor, math teacher, and jock type. Combat has two options: autoplay, where the game chooses the weapon to use, or manual play, in which the player decides to use a hand-to-hand weapon, explosive, gun, or defensive maneuver against foes. Once a battle starts, it is impossible to avoid or escape. The player must kill the enemy or die. Text narrates battle events and actions, such as finding a bag or gaining a weapon. As the game proceeds, flashbacks occur showing events in Eric and Dylan's lives, which may have caused them to commit murder. Much of the plot is constructed around the events precisely as they are believed to have occurred. Lines of the gunmen's dialogue are often lifted verbatim from their writings or from their home videos of each other. In contrast to the 16-bit graphics, there are digitalized photographs from the shooting or full voice samples from news reports. Reaction to
this one was really fucking dark.
The title is criticized as trivializing the actions of Eric and Dylan and the lives of the innocent. The hate was so much so that Ladon ended up removing the game altogether from his websites. You know what sucks, guys? That this isn't the only shooting RPG that we're going to talk about.
What is he doing now? I actually never followed up on this. I've known about that for a long time. What was his name again? I think it's Tier 1 Astro and the Goose of Rainbow. What was his first name? Something Ladon. Radon. Good Elden Ring reference. Did you not say his first name? Daniel Ladon. It's like this. That didn't work. Maybe like this. No, that's not that. And was it an obituary? Maybe the thing you said is fishy, and the 5d6 karma. Thank you for that. Makes it prime sins. Generosity, fishy, and karma. Danny Ladon. So that is Daniel. How do you spell his name? Like, how about this? We'll just look it up like this. Well, this is going to be a dangerous Google search, actually. I'm not doing that. Maybe if I do some cheese. Thank you. Someone spell that out for me. Okay, let's see what he's up to. It doesn't even have anything about the super column. Oh, here it is. It's up here. Okay, so he only made one game. And it was this one. Damn. Yeah, it's fucked up. I assumed he maybe stayed in the video game industry, but I guess not. Please the resub, Boop and Son.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd say you have to be in to make a video game out of all of that, but yeah, we have a lot more on the list. Custer's Revenge, 1982.
I know this one.
Custer's Revenge was an adult action game published by American
Atari
Industries for the Atari 2600. First released in November 1982, the game gained notoriety owing to its goal of being a Native American woman. In the game, the player controls the character named Custer, depicted as a man wearing nothing but a cavalry hat.
The Atari games were pretty wild.
With a visible, you know. Custer has to overcome arrow attacks to reach the other side of the screen. His goal is to a Native American woman tied to a pole. Custer's Revenge quickly gained notoriety upon its release. It was sold in a sealed package labeled "Not for Sale" to minors, and sold for $49.95.
$49 for that?
$4 today. It acknowledged that children might nonetheless see the game.
$49 for a single level?
Should ask. Tell them Custer and
6 pixels?
Women's rights groups criticized the game, stating that it was a simulation of other groups such as Women Against Pornography, Native American spokespersons, and critics of the adult video game industry in general protested about the content of the game. Activists tried pressuring legislators to outlaw the game, which Oklahoma City, home to the large Native American population, did. The focused media attention generated publicity for the game caused it to sell approximately 80,000 copies, twice as many as the company's other video games. American multiple industries responded with, quote, "Our object is not to arouse, our object is to entertain. When people play our game, we want them smiling, we want them laughing." The game's designer, Joel Miller, said Custer was seducing the maiden and that she was a willing participant. By April 1983, the game was withdrawn from
What? What a fucking weirdo. So, I mean, he had to blur the game out, obviously, but the game is literally that one guy with a wiener and one girl, and you just, the two of them just like collide like two action figures, because it's the Atari. Like, it's not entertaining or anything, and he's certainly not seducing. There's no cutscenes or anything. It's just an actual rape simulator for the Atari. Is he still in the gaming industry? Did he go on to work for any other big projects? Maybe he like had a huge blow up and he helped work on like, I don't know, what's his beloved title? Red Dead 2. Hey Chase. He works at Blizzard now. Okay, so it comes full circle then.
Circulation. I may have blurred it, I'm sorry for that, but like, I'm not risking anything. Especially with a topic like this, I know I'm just going to be blurring pixels on the screen. Sorry, you guys are going to have to deal with some blur, but I hope you can still tell what's going on and being talked about. Hatred, 2015.
Yeah, this one was big. It just wanted to be as edgy as possible.
When I think of the most controversial video game, I think of Hatred. Hatred is a gruesome shooter game presented in an isometric perspective, in which the playable character and protagonist is a mass-murdering villain who, quote, hates this world and the human worms feasting on its carcass, and embarks on a genocide crusade against the entire human race. The player can carry 3 weapons and an assortment of grenades, as well as drive some vehicles. Health is regenerated by performing glory kills on people. This was a rare case of a video game being given the adults-only ESRB rating.
Yep, I remember this whole thing.
Are considered by the board to be suitable for players ages 18 and over. Most retailers refuse to stock AO-rated games, and Twitch actually bans all AO games. They don't want to associate with that. The only mainstream platform to allow AO games is Steam, but even Steam hides the AO games by default. JFK.
Oh, he didn't talk about that very much. Hatred had a really actually interesting history. They announced it, and they tried to defend it like we should be able to tell whatever stories we want to tell in the video game media without being ostracized. This is actually a commentary and this and that. When really it was obvious what they were doing is they were trying to capitalize off like edge. Like they just tried to make something super edgy and hopefully it would mask that the game itself wasn't that well made. So they banked on it just being like, this is gonna sell our game. And it didn't work. So they instantly got thrown to the curb. They had a really hard time releasing the game, and when they finally did, nobody gave a shit. Genuinely, no one cared at all about the game. The controversy was forgotten. The controversy only lasted, like, in the public eye for, like, a week, maybe. And the game came out, and it fucking flopped.
JFK Reloaded is a 2004 first-person shooter game developed and published by Traffic Games. It simulates the 1963 assassination of John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States. The player, controlling Lee Harvey Oswald, is tasked with recreating the 3 shots fired at Kennedy and gains higher scores the more accurately they lined up with the report. Shots
I didn't know that.
In motion and from multiple viewpoints. As Kennedy's motorcycle onto Lake Plaza, the player has to take 3 shots at the president with their sniper rifle. They gain points based on how closely these shots match the Warren Commission's report. The first has to miss the car. The second hit Kennedy in the neck and John Cannoli, the governor of Texas, in the chest. And the third fatally hit Kennedy in the head. The perfect score is
holy shit! Wait, this is really thorough.
The player for pursuing alternative scenarios. The score is deducted when the player goes off script from the event, such as hitting Jacqueline Kennedy, the First Lady. JFK Reloaded was denounced by several public figures like David Smith, a spokesman for Ted Kennedy, stating simply that it's despicable. Politician John Kasich discussed it.
It's a weird concept for a game,
the
but
battle for America's soul, and
that's kind of interesting for its time.
Mainstream video games. I'm not gonna lie, the game actually has some really cool bullet physics. It reminds me of like Sniper Elite physics. I don't know if you guys have ever played that game, but it's very similar. I mean, obviously, I don't have to explain why this is controversial. For some of them, I do have to explain why they're controversial, but this one is like, you can just tell.
I feel like I'm pausing after like each one now, but I always have something interesting. You guys know that the Kennedy family